an alien, and he's got all the people. And I was like, and it was Vinny. And he was saying, well, you know, we told them that, you know, the Pleadians were going to, that we were Pleadians. We convinced them. And they trusted you. And see, this is what happens when they trust you. And he said, we're going to keep this ship now. We're going to, this is the first time I got what they do. We're going to keep these humans as slaves, and when we get tired of them, we're going to hang them and eat them. That was the first time I really got it, what this eating. This wasn't just about energy or sucking energy. This was about literally chopping them to pieces and eating them.
So this, for you, was right around the January 2005
yeah,
that you
it was
got
New Year's
that.
Eve. I was supposed to go to New Year's Eve party.
So was this just to come on Vinny acting like he's your buddy? Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
he's
you know,
an okay guy.
you know, I still didn't understand it, and he was, yeah, oh yeah, he wanted, you know, he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and
so now you know Vinny is full of.
They're all like this.
He's just as vicious and two-faced as
yeah,
most of them.
they all were like this. This was basically their MO.
Now you've said, I had to come to grips with the realization that something very evil is in charge here.
Yeah, it's Reptilian.
What are your thoughts about why the astral people are stuck over there in the astral?
Because they put them there. It's still part of the net. Once they're there, they can't get out.
Does anyone ever escape the astral world?
None of them. Now they have, the Pleadians have gotten a lot of people out. But without the Pleadians, no one, they never knew anybody. They only knew one person, a woman who was a witch, and she did satanic ritual, and she disappeared one day. That was the only one that any of the people that I talked to have ever seen leave. And Francis had been there since 1830, birth years.
Now, astral people, you say, are forbidden to talk to you, but they do anyway.
Yeah.
At what risk?
Oh, probably being tortured and killed and hanged and eaten.
But
Let me ask one. Do people shuttle back and forth? I mean, if you die in the astral, you get shuttled back to this realm?
Yeah.
Like back and forth? It's just, they're both
I don't
different
think
aspects of the same holding
They
pen?
don't seem to reincarnate people from, I don't know, that world, I don't know. That's a good question. That one I don't know.
'Cause my sense is that it's just holding pens where you get your spirits just shuttled back and forth, but you're kept in the same holding pen.
It seems that, I don't think the people in the astral, they seem to stay there for, they don't leave. They don't disappear.
Well, how do we get here?
I think we came from, well, the Pleiadians that are here.
Not the Pleiadians.
I think that they have heaven worlds. They have other worlds. I can only talk to the ones in the lower astral.
I mean, I'd like to know how did I get here?
Well, probably that you know, once you were incarnated from, maybe you were in the lower astral. I don't know. I just know that the people that I spoke to who lived around here never knew anybody who left. At least I don't remember them ever saying, because I asked them that, and they didn't seem to think anybody ever got out of there. So they're incarnating people, but they must be from someplace, another level. That's all, because there are other levels.
you've decided to stick up for these people and look out for the people in the astral. And one of the things that convinced you to do it was the amount of child abuse that goes on there. And you've said a number of times, maybe even in this interview so far, that reptilians often rape the children to death.
Yes.
There was one child who told you, "My name is Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't forget me." Now, what's going on there? And how do you think what you're doing is going to be able to finally affect a change?
All I can do is give them hope that this thing is going to end. I talk to them about May, just like I talked on the website. I just tell them that they're getting kicked off, that all that they've suffered, they're going to be healed. They are going to get out of there. These aliens are going into hell. I mean, all I can do is give them hope. I can't rescue them, but I can at least let them know that this isn't their fate for eternity. That's all I can do.
You've also said when Jesus shows up to help the astral children, I'll have more respect for him.
Yeah.
That's an inflammatory remark to the Christians, but what does that mean to you? Like, why did you say that? And what do you mean by that?
I said that because I hear from people that to pray to Jesus, forget the Pleadians. I mean, I don't say that unless they make some disparaging remark about Pleadians. I know Pleadians have been brought down, have suffered tremendously, and have been very, very noble and brave to risk everything to help people, and Jesus never shows up over there. And I've had Christians over there. I had Pleadians taking Christians out, and this one man who was finally gotten out, he said, "Thank you, Jesus." And I'm like, why are you thanking Jesus? He's not risking his life. It's the Pleadians. So, you know, if Jesus suddenly shows up and starts smiting these reptilians and helping these little babies who are being slaughtered, I will have a tremendous amount more respect for him.
Now, you say that astral people are generally clueless about upcoming events, but that they have already seen Planet X coming.
I heard one group of people one time say, "We have seen the planet." Whether they were just, I didn't reverse them, so because they were the only ones that I've heard say that. But they did say, "We can see the planet." I've asked others, but I think that they weren't able to give, you know, it's very, I get very short of recordings, and often they'll say the aliens are coming, we got to get out of here.
Francis's friend Sydney have gone through training on the Pleiades after they were taken out, and they are now helping somehow. How is that they are helping?
They got a friend of mine out who passed over just 2 months ago. He was captured immediately. He was Pleiadian. He didn't remember that.
Who was this?
A friend of mine. His name was Wally, and he lived here. He died, and I talked to the people on the other side, and I asked how he was doing, and they said the aliens grabbed him immediately after he died, and that they had him in their house, in one of the houses there as a prisoner. And I talked to the aliens, and they basically said, "Yeah, you know, he's our prisoner," and they were being very nasty about the whole thing. And the next day, Sydney and Francis zoomed in, grabbed Wally, and got him out. And they got out safely. I was terrified that they were going to be brought down, but they got him out. And even the reptilians couldn't believe that they did it. They succeeded. And I heard from Wally that night on my recordings in this tiny little voice thanking me and telling me how much he appreciated it and how much he loved Nick and I because we had prayed. And it was one of the best days I've had in a long time.
Now, in regard to other reverse speech practitioners, there's the American Association of EVP, and there's David Oates, who originally started a lot of the reverse speech experimentation. But David's had a lot of tragedies of his own. And could you talk a little bit about David Oates?
Well, he came up with this, and I think he was very cutting edge because he's the one who really brought this into the forefront. I think he's had a lot of personal tragedies. I mean, he has had a lot of personal tragedies. And I think that he's very careful now, that I don't think he wants to draw any more attention to himself than necessary. He does give training classes. He's more into therapies and things. He's not into anything reptilian. He never did any EVP and didn't know about that or didn't have any interest in that. And so what he's getting is pretty mild compared to what I get.
And Tom and Linda Butler have done EVP, but you say the reversals reveal...
They're talking, Lisa Butler, they're talking to reptilians now. I reverse their EVP, and it's always a reptilian.
Ken Welsh, about 3 weeks ago, had a website that predicted that there was going to be a nuclear device detonated in a ship near the Houston area to predicate a retaliation against the Middle East and maybe Iran. And when you reversed his reversals and the reversals that he had done on Condoleezza Rice and Rumsfeld and others, you correctly identified that he was wrong and that he was guessing, and that did not come to pass. How did you ascertain that conclusion? Because
he refers to the ship, but they're leaving on a ship. And he was hearing about that ship. That was my take on it. And that his reversals, when he spoke, because it was hard for me to work with